Okay, guys, we are on the 8th chapter of our Chosen Devotional, and the theme is hope. And that is something we all need right now. It is important. It is crucial. It is a necessity for each one of us to have hope in our life. This is basically an extension to what we talked about last week in regards to Zechariah and Elizabeth, when the angel came to Zechariah and said, hey, guess what? You guys get to have a baby at the late ages of 60-ish, you know? And so I think what I'm going to do is just cover a few questions like we did last week and see how Shawn does.
What? Just doing my part.
What suffering have you experienced that has produced perseverance, character, and hope?
Well, that's a little deep, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Suffering is holding this 10-pound camera in one hand.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, I had a issue with my body where I wasn't growing. And so when I was in high school, I was 4'6", 80 pounds. And that was up until my senior year of high school, where I grew to 4'8". So you can imagine how hard it is to be, fit in with your peers. And I mean, I got bullied a lot. And through that whole situation and kind of hating school, coming home crying every day, I learned what it feels like when people treat you poorly. And now into my adult life, I have a ton of empathy for people who are different, people who are struggling. When I see someone who's acting out, sometimes I think, what's going on in their life to make them feel that way before I'm judgy. So I would not change anything about my upbringing. I think a lot of who I am today is because of how I was treated as a kid, and I love that.
What inside of you pushed you to persevere? Like, what was it inside of you that made you choose not to completely and utterly give up on yourself?
I knew that I didn't want to be like them, and I also knew that it would eventually be over. I knew as I got older and I got out of school, I looked forward to the day that I was out of school so that I can find my own path, be away from the bullies. So I guess just always hoping for the future and just knowing that I wasn't going to let them win. I never wanted to be like them. That was like my motivator.
So you learned from the way that they treated you on how not to be.
Exactly.
And that's what helped you persevere.
Yep.
And gave you hope.
Mm-hmm.
That you could be better and maybe even make a difference in someone else's life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, hey, I know you. That's why I married you. Okay.
So, Karin, what evidence do you have that supports your spiritual growth?
Man, these questions are deep. They really, really are. In the midst of turmoil in my life, my marriage has stayed intact. Things were not going well. I closed that chapter, and the minute that I closed that chapter, a whole new experience opened up for me, and I feel like it was a gift from God, because I didn't give up on Him the entire time. I always continued to have faith. I always continued to have hope. And because of that, I feel like I was filled with strength. I didn't fall into the typical things that most people would do. How do I want to say? Although I wanted to do what most people want to do, which is just kind of seek justice, I decided that that wasn't my job. And that's basically how I know that I've grown spiritually, because I'm leaving that up to God. And I remind myself about that every single time that I try to feel like a justice needs to be served. I try to talk to God about what's going on in my heart and how badly I feel about it, and then just pray that He will handle it and trust that He'll handle it on His own time. And I'll tell you, throughout my whole life, He's always done that for me, 100%. I want to encourage everyone else to do that. And does it seem easy? No, it's not easy at all. I guess that's why they call it faith.
You are less like Batman now and more like Superman.
I don't really like Superman that much.
That's not the answer.
But I do like Batman. Maybe Spider-Man's better. Maybe more like Spider-Man.
Okay, but less like Batman. The
Even
Dark
though
Knight,
yeah.
bent on justice and revenge.
Yeah. I really love Batman though. Listen, and that alone does talk about my growth, because not that I would punish anyone, but I would want to. They should be punished for the horrible things that they have done to someone else or to me, just like Batman. And I just don't think that that's my place. And I'll tell you this, when I have maybe lashed out at someone, because nobody's perfect. When I've lashed out in the past and
Charlie's perfect.
Where did that? When I've taken my anger out on others, I feel terrible about myself. I don't feel any better about the situation. In fact, I usually feel worse because I should know better. I would rather take the high road and trust in God than go down any other path. Even the people who have done me wrong, or Shawn, or even anyone that I love, they too have their own journey, and they have a lot of things that they have to learn, and we're all in different places in our life as far as where our journey is, and that's not my place to punish.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let them deal with that on their own. I just don't have to be a part of it. I really don't have to be a part of their destruction.
And that's a really good point, when you can sit back and say, you know what? I don't need this person to suffer because they treated me poorly. You're going to focus on your life and what's important to you moving forward, and just kind of let God handle, the growth of that person.
And I've also reached out to people that I knew weren't right for me, but they were like habits, like people in my life that were just a habit. I felt like I needed them for some reason, but every single time I was with them, I was miserable, and I kept reaching for them for some sort of validation. And now I can see more clearly the people in my life who are in my life for the right reasons, and they are the light. And once I started choosing them and putting my focus on them and not my focus on the people who are actually hurting my life has been more fruitful. It really, really has.
Yep. I could say that even though more recently you went through this situation, but earlier in my life I went through a very similar situation. And when I stopped worrying about everyone else and just focused on me and my happiness, I became at peace with my life and my surroundings. I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I like the person that I see.
Oh, I love that.
And I never feel that way when I'm wanting revenge. So I think that's a good sign of spiritual growth.
And ultimately, you make yourself suffer. Okay. Yeah. Charlie, have you ever been brought to tears over God's goodness and favor? Describe the circumstances. Let's see. So you see that smile? He is brought to tears by being 14 years old and fabulous. His life with me is not only fun, but it's exciting and adventurous and full of love. And we thank God every single day that we get to spend so many years together. And we hope for more, right, Charlie? I think he wants a snack. Charlie's been through a lot, though. He's always been put on the side burner because he's soft and he's gentle. And other dogs are more energetic and like to seek the limelight over Charlie. But look at this little guy. He's never going to give up. Right, buddy? So if we tie it back to what Shawn was saying in the beginning, if you can kind of feel the strength from within, I feel like that's the Holy Spirit. Don't allow vengeance in your soul. You will find that your life will glow and light up immediately. You guys, please don't give up no matter what you're going through. And I think I said that in our last episode. Please do not give up. Let the other person sink themselves. You take the high road and you make a difference in someone else's life. It could be really a small task, and then you can add on to much bigger things. But I think in this day and age, we all need to be a light in someone else's life. It's crucial, and it is so important, okay? It's a necessity.
Absolutely, especially nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Charlie? Charlie's all about being a light in everyone's life. Right, buddy? You have lipstick all over your nose. So guys, don't forget to like the video, give us a subscription, follow us, comment with us. We would love to have you be part of the family.
Yes, And check out The Chosen if you haven't already by hitting the Google Store app, and you'll see The Chosen right there. And all of the 8 episodes for season 1 are free. That season of The Chosen touched my life tremendously. I think this is time for everyone to start watching The Chosen. No time like the present, guys.
So guys, till next time. Peace.
Bye.